Hi, my name's Katie, and I am a terrible artist. I cannot draw to save my life. If someone had a gun to my head and asked me to draw something, it would be full of wobbly lines and gaps. Granted, with a gun to the head, I think even the best artist's hands would tremble. Regardless, I cannot draw. I cannot paint. I cannot craft. I cannot knit or sew or even carry a tune. And no, I'm not saying this for sympathy or for people to run to the comments and tell me that, yes, you are good at art, Katie, and if you practice, you could be really good. Because here's the thing. I kind of like being bad at art. This is a rather recent development for me. I'm a writer, so I'm not terrible at all art, obviously, and I've worked my ass off to be a good writer. Thousands upon thousands of words over the span of the last 15 years, many hours spent reading, classes attended, and lots of deep thoughts about craft has helped me hone my talent. As a writer, I take tremendous pride in my work. My identity is based on being a writer. My own perception of myself is completely rooted in my creative and academic work. When I got into YouTube in May and started making videos, I wanted my videos to be perfect. Hell, who am I kidding? I still want them to be perfect. I wanted to be cool with slickly edited vlogs and graphic visuals that kept you entertained. Really, I was just trying to create stories for people to enjoy, just in a different medium with much less skill and much worse equipment than some of my YouTube idols. And whenever I got a really nice comment that says that they like the way I edit, a big part of me swells with pride. And I'm delighted for the rest of the day. This applies to my writing as well. Unfortunately, sometimes, the joy is smothered by sourness. Imposter syndrome. Was this just them being nice? Did they say that because they feel like they have to because I'm their friend? What if it's just a fluke and I never make something good again? All irrational, of course. We only get better as we age. There's no magic time when writing suddenly gets easier. There are more factors and nuance at play that I could get into, but then this video would turn into an hour-long discussion. So the bottom line is that progress is not linear. We get better, we get worse, we take breaks and we get rusty. We work too hard and burn out. Life gets in the way and knocks us out of our rhythm. We wonder, will I ever make good art again? This has been a question circling my head for the better part of 3 weeks. I started edits on my novel and wondered if I would ever be able to make it any better. If I could actually pull this story off and have people care about my characters, my world, this thing I've built over the last 2 years. To distract myself from this, I started to work on a couple of other writing projects. But the more I tried to work on characters, worlds, plots, magic systems of any of my projects, I came up empty. Nothing. There was no real creative spark that made me eager to delve into the world and dig up the bones I needed. It wasn't a lack of motivation or inspiration. I wanted to write. I wasn't fully blocked. I knew what I wanted to do, but just couldn't find the words. I bashed my head against the keyboard and forced myself to write, to get those words on the page. Usually, when you get the gears warmed up, they flow better, and it ends up being okay. The words may sputter at first, but eventually they'll fall in a steady stream. This was my usual technique for getting past writer's block. Ho, but not this time. Instead of getting into a groove, I hit metaphorical potholes. It was jarring to see all of my ideas come up stale, overused, and uninspired. I was frustrated. I was angry at myself for not being creative enough, for not digging deep enough. I'd been doing all the right things. Going to bed early, practicing yoga, filling my creative well with books and movies and TV. But nothing. Because it wasn't the words that were bad, or my creativity that had dried up. I was paralyzed by art fear. I hadn't even noticed. I was afraid of creating something bad, of it not being good enough for myself. I usually associate art fear with what other people thought of me. Will they think I'm X, Y, or Z? Will they hate it? Am I making a fool of myself? I have learned to crumple those thoughts and toss them in the garbage. They are no use to me. I have a weapon against them. My mantras. Art is subjective. You cannot please everyone. If you like it, that is all that matters. Bingo. I was the one I was afraid of letting down. Writing is my escape, a place I turn to when I have nothing else. I have tied every inch of my identity so firmly with being a writer that I don't know what I would be without it. I was afraid of making bad art, so I couldn't make good art because I was afraid of making bad art. You get the point. It's It's a feedback loop of irritation, frustration, and headaches. So, how do you combat this art fear? Well, by letting yourself make bad art. I know, easier said than done. So, I've started small. I decided to work on these doodles. I grabbed some simple line art off the internet and went about tracing them in Illustrator. I have nothing to lose. This isn't a side hustle, this isn't my dream, it's just me making something and letting myself do it badly. It doesn't matter whether it comes out good or bad, it's the principle that matters. Make art badly. Let yourself fail and be okay with it. Laugh at it. Explore this medium without judgment or shame. I will never be a technically good painter or sculptor or crafter, but I can fiddle. I can make things badly. Expect it to absolutely suck. And it's okay. I promise. You will make bad art. That is inevitable. But purposely making bad art, just for you kind of get used to it. You'll see it less like a failure and more of an exercise in being human. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I wish you all the best on your artist journey. So go forth and make your bad art. I will see you in my next video. Bye!